Hello everyone, welcome back to another video here at the Internet Hockey Channel. Today's video, we're going to have a game review recap to discuss. We're discussing the games that happened over the past couple of days, looking ahead to the games that happen over the next couple of days, and we're looking at some of the standings updates, plus we're looking at some of the teams who hit the 40-win game mark, and we're looking at how teams are doing right now compared to how they're doing at this point in time last year. We'll get to all that coming up right now. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video here at the Internet Hockey Channel. Before we begin this video, don't forget to like this video and subscribe down below. Thank you for all of your support. I'll never be able to do this without you guys, so don't forget to subscribe so we can hit 250 subscribers. Now, as usual, I'm going to start things off by discussing a couple of the last few days' game reviews. We had 8 games played on Tuesday. There was originally scheduled to be 3 games played on Wednesday, but there was only 2 that wound up being played, so we have 10 games here to discuss. We'll start with the 8 games that happened on Tuesday. The Washington Capitals were able to go to a 1-0 lead. That was all they really needed, as they were able to beat the Anaheim Ducks 2-0. Very good win there for the Capitals to improve to 21-15-6, dropping the Anaheim Ducks to 15-28-1. So very good win there for the Washington Capitals to keep on getting some points and getting higher in the standings in the Metro Division. Bear, who scored his first goal as a member of the Washington Capitals, and Wilson were 2 goal scorers, and Kemper stopped all 24 shots he faced in the shootout and victory for the Washington Capitals. So a very good win there for the Capitals. They were able to get a huge win, improving the Metro standings. Then we saw the New York Rangers come out and beat the Seattle Kraken 5-2. Really good win there for the Rangers. It was close after the first period, but the Rangers pulled away in the second and held on for the win. So very good win there for New York to improve to 28-13-2. While the Kraken have now lost back-to-back games and are down to 19-16-9. So not good stuff there for Seattle. For the Rangers, Wheeler scored twice, Zibanejad and Fox had 2 assists, and Trocheck, Kako, and Gustafsson also scored for Rangers in the win, while Eberle and McCann were 2 goal scorers for Kraken in the loss. Not a great game there from the Kraken, one they want to have back. It was a winnable game early on, but eventually it became a Rangers game. So not great stuff there, and the Rangers were able to come away with a huge victory. Then the Ottawa Senators blew another lead. They were up 4-2 at one point over the Colorado Avalanche, 4-3 at the end of the second period. They were able to give up 5 consecutive goals, including 4 consecutive in the third period, to get down by the Colorado Avalanche 7-4. Very bad loss there for Ottawa, who drops back down to 15-24-0, having lost now 6 of 7. Well, the Avalanche have now won 4 of 5 and improved to 29-13-3, so that's a very good win for the Avalanche. For Colorado, Girard had 3 assists, Brandon scored twice, Wood, O'Connor, Malinsky, and Hayes all had a goal and an assist. McKinnon had 2 assists, and Paul, who scored his first career NHL goal, also scored for the Avalanche in the win, while Kachuk and Giroux both had 3 assists. Greg scored twice, Sanderson had a goal and an assist, and Batherson also scored for the Senators in the loss. So not a great game there from the Sens. One they want to have back. It was a winnable game. Definitely did not want to lose that game, but still, it was a really decent game, and the Senators did not wind up winning. So really bad stuff there for the Senators to continue to find ways to lose, while the Brazilian Avalanche were able to come away with a victory. Then the Dallas Stars came out on Tuesday, firing on all cylinders, and beat the LA Kings 5-1. Very good win there for the Stars to improve to 26-12-5, while the Kings, who have now lost 9 of 10, dropped down to 21-12-8. So not great stuff there for the Kings, who continue to find ways to lose. For Dallas, Hintz, Johnston, and Dazonov all had a goal and an assist. Robertson had 2 assists, and Pavelski and Steele both also scored for the Stars in the win. So very good stuff there for Dallas, while Doughty was a lone goal scorer for the Kings in the loss. So Kings continue to find ways to lose. Their lead in the Pacific has dropped dramatically. The Kraken, Oilers, and even the Flames are closing in on them, so it's not great stuff there for the Kings, but still, really good win there for the Dallas Stars to get a massive win to improve themselves in the Central Division standings. Then we saw the Winnipeg Jets beat the New York Islanders 4-2. Very good win there for the Jets, who have now won 9 of their last 10 games and improved to 29-10-4, while the Islanders have lost 5 of 6 and dropped to 19-15-10. So not great stuff there for the Islanders, who only find themselves 4 games above 500, and they've sort of been playing like they have been during that little slump they had in the middle of the season when they lost a couple of games and went below 500, and there's those Fire Lane Lambert chants. It sort of gets that feeling, in my opinion. For the Jets, Pion, Connor, Appleton, and Velarde also scored for the Winnipeg Jets in the win. Connor in his first game back since the injury, so really good stuff there for Winnipeg, while Lee scored both New York Islanders goals in the loss. So not a great game there from the Islanders. One they want to have back, winnable game against a really good team, and yet they find a way to lose yet again. So really bad stuff there for the Islanders, but the Jets continue to find ways to be one of the top teams in the NHL. Then the Blackhawks were able to escape with a 2-1 shootout victory over the San Jose Sharks in the battle of the 2 worst teams in the NHL to improve to 13-29-2, dropping the San Jose Sharks to 10-31-4 with the loss. Not a great game there from the Sharks, one they definitely want to have back, but still, it's a really close, interesting game, and both teams do not look overly good, given the fact they are 2 of the worst teams in the NHL. Gutman was the lone goal scorer in regulation for the Chicago Blackhawks, while Pitlick and Kachuk were the two shield goal scorers in the win. While for the San Jose Sharks, Carpenter was the lone regulation goal scorer and LeBanc was the lone shield goal scorer in the loss. Not a great game there from the Sharks, but still, it was a really close game between two of the worst teams in the NHL, and this night it was the Blackhawks who came with the victory, so good stuff there for Chicago to get even more distance between them and the San Jose Sharks, so really good stuff there for the Blackhawks. Then the Edmonton Oilers would come back from down 2-0 to beat the Toronto Maple Leafs 4-2. Very good win there for the Oilers to extend their winning streak to 11 games and improve to 24-15-1. Well, the loss was the fourth straight loss for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Fourth straight loss where they gave up a lead, and they dropped to 21-13-8 on the year. So not great stuff there for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and now they're not even in the top 3 in the Atlantic Division. So that's a really bad blow there for the Toronto Maple Leafs. For the Oilers, Bouchard, McLeod both had goal and assist. Ryan and Draisaitl both also scored for Oilers in the win, while Matthews had a goal and assist. Holmberg had 2 assists, and Riley also scored for the Leafs in the loss. Not a great game there from the Leafs. They definitely were able to lead, and it looked like they would probably win this game, but the Oilers found themselves resilient and were able to come back, and the Leafs continue to find ways to lose. So that's a really bad blow there for the Leafs, who continue to fall in the standings. And then we also saw the Flames overcome a 2-goal deficit to beat the Arizona Coyotes 3-2 in overtime to extend their winning streak to 4 games and improve to 21-18-5, dropping the Coyotes to 21-18-3 over on Tuesday. So a very good win there for the Calgary Flames, who were able to improve and get a huge victory. Like we said, they extend their win streak and they look a lot better, so really good stuff there for the Calgary Flames. Kadri had a goal and an assist, and Sharon Govich had the OT winner, and Coleman both also scored for the Flames in the win. While for the Arizona Coyotes, Jersey had a goal and an assist, and Cooley also scored in the loss. So it wasn't a really great game there from the Coyotes. They definitely were able to get out to a 2-0 lead, which was really, really good. The Flames stormed back, are able to send to overtime, and then won in overtime. So not a great game there from the Coyotes, but still a really good win there for the Flames to extend their winning streak. Now those are all the 8 games that happened on Tuesday. Going over to the 2 games that happened yesterday. First, there was originally scheduled to be 3 games, but the Chicago Blackhawks and Buffalo Sabres game due to weather. Remember, we said the weather delayed the Detroit Red Wings flight to Toronto. We saw that over the weekend the weather delayed the NFL playoff game between the Buffalo Bills and the Pittsburgh Steelers from Sunday to Monday. This bad weather that the Buffalo area is sort of getting right now delayed the Buffalo Sabres and Chicago Blackhawks game that was supposed to be played yesterday to today's game. So we got an extra game today, but there was supposed to be another game yesterday. So there was only 2 games yesterday because of that. So first, the Montreal Canadiens were able to get out to a 2-0 lead, blew a 2-0 lead, but then recovered, scoring the game-winning goal late in the 3rd period to beat the New Jersey Devils 3-2. Really good win there for the Montreal Canadiens to find themselves on the winning side of things, improving to 19-18-7, finally above 500 again, while the Devils dropped to 22-17-3. So not great stuff there for New Jersey. For the Canadiens, Caulfield had a goal and an assist, Monahan had 2 assists, and both Slavkovsky and Roy, who scored his first career NHL goal, both also scored for the Canadiens in the win, while Holtz and Luke Hughes were 2 goal scorers for the Devils in the loss. Not a great game there from the Devils. One they definitely want to have back. It was a decent game from both sides, but the Canadiens were able to come with the victory, so that's huge for them. For the Detroit Red Wings, they are able to come into this game, overcome a couple of deficits, and beat the Florida Panthers 3-2 in overtime. Thanks to this goal here from Dylan Larkin. Remember, all clips are heard to Sportsnet, but really good stuff there from Larkin, who was able to get the OT winner and send the Red Wings to their 7th consecutive game with a point. They're 6-1 their last 7, and they look completely fantastic. Well, the Panthers have now lost 3 straight and fall to 27-13-4. So not great stuff there for Florida. For the Detroit Red Wings, Rasmussen had a goal and an assist, Mata had 2 assists, and Larkin, who had the OT winner, and Fabry both also scored for Red Wings in the win, while Reinhart scored in his 8th straight game, and Forsling also scored for Panthers in the loss. So not a great game there from Florida. One they definitely want to have back. It was a decent game. Both teams did really good, but in this night, it was the Detroit Red Wings who came away with the victory. So really good stuff there for Detroit. Those were all the games that happened over the past couple of days. The 8 games that happened on Tuesday, the 2 games that happened yesterday. So now we got 1 more game added on today because of the postponement from yesterday. So that'll be interesting to see. We'll get to that in a second. First, the 41 game review for only 1 team. The Oilers are at 40 games played. The Senators are at 39 games played. So the Senators have to play 2 more games before they hit the halfway point. The next Oilers game will be their halfway point. The Kings, meanwhile, have hit the halfway point now. They're the 3rd last team to hit the halfway point. The Kings were able to finish at the halfway point at 21-12-8 for 50 points. 135 goals for, 109 goals against, plus 26 rating. Players with 30 or more points at the halfway point. Kopitar had 14 goals, 25 assists, 39 points. Kempe has 15 goals, 23 assists, 38 points. Fiala has 10 goals, 27 assists, 37 points. Moore has 20 goals, 11 assists, 31 points. Byfield has 12 goals, 18 assists, 30 points. Byfield's on pace for 60. Moore's on pace for 40 goals and 62 points. Fial's on pace for 74, Kempe 76, and Kopitar 78. So those were really good stuff there for the Kings, who are in a pretty good position when it comes to them at the halfway point. So really good stuff there for the Kings. But that's the only 41 game review we have for today. Like we said, the Oilers and Senators still need to play a few more games before we get at the halfway point. So it will be interesting to see how they are at the halfway point. But those are the standings as of right now. Going over to the game preview here for the next couple of days. There are going to be a ton of interesting games over the next few days. So now with the added Chicago-Buffalo game to today's schedule, there's going to be 11 games today. First, at 4 p.m. Pacific time, we have a ton of games, including the Chicago Blackhawks, like we said, taking on the Buffalo Sabres. Hawks looking for back-to-back wins. Sabres looking to get to within one game of 500. The Avalanche take on the Bruins, two of the best teams in the NHL. Bruins trying to keep ahead of Florida. Colorado trying to catch Winnipeg, so that'll be an interesting game. Montreal just straight ahead of 500, taking on Ottawa Senators. Team is looking to avoid going to yet another loss. The Philadelphia Flyers take on the Dallas Stars. Flyers looking to try and improve in the Metro Division. Dallas trying to keep pace with Colorado and Winnipeg for top spot in the Central Division. Minnesota takes on Tampa. Tampa looking to try and keep pace for a playoff spot. Minnesota trying to string together back-to-back wins. St. Louis takes on Washington. Both teams looking for desperate needs of wins to keep pace in the wildcard race. Those are all the games that happen at 4 p.m. Pacific time. Then at 6, the Kraken take on the Oilers. Two really hot teams. Kraken have lost now back-to-back games. Looking to try and get back on the winning side of things. Take on an Oilers team who is trying to win their 12th straight, and then the Calgary Flames are trying to win their 5th straight, take on a Leafs team who's trying to avoid their 5th straight loss. So those are going to be some interesting games at 6, and then at 7 p.m. Pacific time, the Nashville Predators take on the LA Kings. Preds looking to try and get a huge victory over the LA Kings to keep pace for a playoff spot in the Western Conference. Kings trying to keep ahead of the Oilers for a time being. Then at 7 p.m. Pacific time, the Coyotes take on the Canucks. Coyotes looking to try and get back into the playoff race. Canucks trying to extend their lead for the Pacific Division title, and then the Rangers take on the Golden Knights. Two teams who have had recent bad slumps but are trying to get back on the winning side of things, both in desperate need of a win. So really good stuff there for the Rangers and the Golden Knights. And then the 4 games on Friday, 3 at 4 o'clock, 1 at 5:30 at 4 o'clock. Red Wings look to try and win yet again, trying to extend their point streak, take on the Carolina Hurricanes. Team is looking to start a new point streak. New Jersey Devils take on the Columbus Blue Jackets. Devils looking to try and improve in the Metro Division standings. Columbus trying to keep pace with some of the lower end teams in the league. Wild take on the Florida Panthers. Wild could be looking for 3 straight wins. Panthers looking to try and keep pace with the Boston Bruins for the top spots in the Atlantic Division. And then the Blackhawks and the Islanders. Blackhawks possibly looking for 3 straight wins. Islanders looking to try and get back to their 20th win of the season. So we'll be interested to see, but those are the 15 games that happen over the next couple of days. 11 games later today, 4 games tomorrow. It'll be interesting to see who ends up winning and who ends up coming away with the victories. But those are the game previews as of right now. Next, going over to the standings as of right now, there's been a lot of interesting developments in the standings. So as of right now, on January 18th, 2024, the standings look like this. Boston leads the Atlantic with 61 points, followed by 58-point Florida and 51-point Detroit. 58-point New York Rangers lead the Metro, followed by 54-point Philly and 53-point Carolina. 50-point Toronto and 49-point Tampa are 2 wildcard teams, and they're followed by 48-point Pittsburgh, 48-point Washington, 48-point New York Islanders, 47-point Jersey, 45-point Montreal, 42-point Buffalo, 37-point Columbus, and 30-point Ottawa. And those are teams out of a playoff spot looking in right now. Then if you look at the western side in the Central, the Winnipeg Jets lead the Central with 62 points, followed by 61-point Colorado and 57-point Dallas. 62-point Vancouver leads the Pacific, followed by 55-point Vegas and 50-point LA. The teams in the playoffs right now are 49-point Edmonton and 49-point Nashville, and 47-point Calgary, 47-point Seattle, 45-point Arizona, 44-point St. Louis, and 41-point Minnesota, as well as 31-point Anaheim, 28-point Chicago, and 24-point San Jose are all on the outside looking right now in the Western Conference. So not great stuff there for those teams, but it's interesting to see those are what the standings look like as of right now over the past couple of days. Going over to how some of these teams are doing compared to last year, better or worse. So if you look at the teams who are doing a lot better than last year, the Canucks are 23 points ahead of where they were last year at this point in time. The Panthers are 14, as well as the Coyotes. Both are 14 points ahead of where they were last year. The Flyers are 11 points ahead of where they were last year. The Jackets are 9. The Avalanche are 8. The Canadiens are 6. While the Jets, Oilers, and Red Wings are all 5 points ahead of where they were last year at this point in time. So a lot of teams are doing extremely well compared to how they were doing last year. If you look at teams who are doing worse than where they were last year, the Minnesota Wild are 13 points lower than where they were last year. It's really bad. If you look at the Boston Bruins, San Jose Sharks, both 11 points lower than where they were last year. Tampa's 10. So is New Jersey. Seattle, Toronto, and Ottawa are all 9 points lower than where they were last year. So that's not really great news for those teams. Carolina's 8 points lower lower than where we were last year, and Buffalo's 5 points lower than where we were last year. So not great stuff there. You can see a lot of Atlantic Division teams doing quite worse than where we were last year. Boston's 11 points lower, Tampa's 10, Toronto, Ottawa are 9, Buffalo's 5. So not great stuff there for the Atlantic Division. Definitely taking a step back, but still really good for teams like the Canucks, the Panthers, the Coyotes, the Flyers, who are doing a tremendously better job this year than they were at this point in time last year. So it's going to be interesting to see. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on all of this down in the comment section below. That's all I'm going to talk about for today. Which games were you most intrigued by over the past couple of days? Was there any of the 8 games on Tuesday, 2 games on Wednesday? Love to hear your guys' thoughts on that. Are you looking forward to any games over the next couple of days? Any of the 11 games happening later today? Any of the 4 games happening tomorrow? Definitely love to hear your guys' thoughts on that. Are you surprised by the LA Kings at the halfway point? Are you surprised by anything in the standings? Are you surprised that Calgary and Seattle have the exact same record right now, 47 points in 44 games? Are you surprised the Oilers are only a point out of the LA Kings right now? Are you surprised that Nashville's now back in the second wildcard spot? Are you surprised Vancouver and Winnipeg are same point total, leading their divisions? Are you surprised that Florida's still within striking distance of the Bruins? Are you surprised that that tight wildcard race is getting even tighter? Definitely. Let's hear your guys' thoughts on all of that down in the comment section below. And what do you think about how the teams are doing compared to how they were doing last year? Definitely love to hear your guys' thoughts on all of that. But that's what I'm going to talk about for today. Remember to like this video, and if you're like to subscribe down below. Thank you for all of your support. I've never been able to do this without you guys. So don't forget to subscribe so we can hit 250 subscribers. I also do a blog talking about news, rumors, analysis, stuff like that. So definitely check that out. I'll leave a link to that in the description below. And I can't wait to see you guys all for next video. See you guys soon.